He's a crunch main.
Yeah,
So I'm gonna have to.
gotta get Swole made it, but it's about me.
Uh.
Well, I have bad news for you.
What's the bad news?
I have heard that there are certain characters like Rev and Crunch and Wukong that they want to have every system implemented before they try and put them in. So they're gonna be some of the last
I
characters.
told you, Steve. I told
Yeah,
you.
I heard that
yeah.
from Uzi. So I hope
Oh man.
I saw that coming. No one really gave
because
a
it
fuck
was
about
like if they
Crunch.
want to put those characters in every time they update systems, they have to completely work on them and pretty much make them again.
Wow. Yeah. Well,
Yeah, I saw
Crunch.
that shit
But
coming.
why would they make him last? Is it just Revenant was just good at every level. Uh, but Crunch is just because he was so bad that you guys think you would need that much of a rework.
Crunch is not that
Yeah, no,
bad.
Crunch. I don't think they should change him at all.
You think
Yeah,
that
I
just.
would. If they changed Crunch, I'd be so sad, man. I'm
I
busting
don't think
my
they
ass
would.
to learn that character.
I'm just worried that they're gonna move the passive. I haven't. They like I said, they haven't even started working on him, so they don't
Yeah.
know what they're gonna do.
Yeah.
But I really hope they don't like move the passive from his ult to his actual passive. That'd be terrible. They would have
So
to like buff him his
Okay.
abilities hard.
And I just want to
the
say for the
reason
stream, for anyone that doesn't know, Meeks and Reverb are testers. They are testers for the game. They play the game actively almost every day that they're allowed. So they got the real inside in a sense without knowing too much because they're not a dev.
Yeah, we don't
I
have
mean, there's a
NDAs
lot
on
of
it.
stuff. Well, there's also a lot of stuff like gotta respect, like we don't really talk about.
Yeah, understandable.
But I got a question. This is why I came here.
Okay.
So what's up with this howitzer passive?
Look, man, MT came in and was pretty upset about it.
No, MT's also an idiot. Don't.
No, MT's cool. So we were okay. I threw it an idea, and okay. So by the way, if you can't see it on the screen, it says direct from ringside: Blue Bomber versus Red Rocket, Steve versus Meeks 2K, and this is what Steve made because they're both crunch maids. Anywho, uh, yeah. So to show what we were talking about, I threw the idea out there, but I did reiterate it's a bad idea about just having a lock-on ability.
Hey,
And I
this
understand.
spreadsheet looks familiar for this.
Yeah, so the first few are yours. So, but then once you get to this page, we just started going off on a little bit of a tangent. So
Yeah,
the howitzer. So we just said every fifth basic attack gets you a lock-on ability. However, if you miss, the timer resets. But I think that takes away from the skill. But then again, hitting 5 basics can be really hard. But then we had
Yeah,
another idea under it where it says, on hit with his missile, you get increased attack speed and reduce cooldown reduction, or decrease cooldown reduction. What do you guys think of that?
like on hit with basic or abilities.
So we have like two different passes we're working with. The first one is if you hit your basic attacks 5 times in a row, you get one free lock-on ability, or one free missile lock-on, whatever would be less broken, pretty
But
Well,
much.
if
you
you
would pretty much
miss,
have
if
to put that on his Q because his E and right click, like those can't be lock on.
yeah,
Yeah, which makes
and like
sense.
if you hit like four and then the fifth one missed, it would like reset.
Yeah,
my documents like on my other onto my laptop. But for howitzer, I think the passive idea I had was to give him like a fuel booster type meter, and you can not necessarily fly, but you can. He's a big boy, right?
Yeah.
So it's not that bad of an idea if he's like not necessarily flying around, but he's got some movement to him.
Yeah, we actually made his we did something different. We were talking about how he should be able to fly a little bit more so he doesn't have to use his ult as a getaway.
It's his
Well,
right click.
Yeah, his right click.
I mean
Thought about
his E is his getaway.
That's the bounce, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
like howitzer player, like you put yourself on one end, put the
Yeah,
you're getting
and
away
then
from another end.
you bounce one way, they bounce the other. Yeah. Oh, okay, yeah, I never thought of that actually. I never.
I always
It's been a
I
minute.
thought I thought like because I feel like a lot of the travel mode animations aren't going to get used because I feel like they're not going to do travel mode. So like what if there was a like an ability that he got that like activated because his travel mode animation was always like it was like his little thruster and he like lifted off the ground. So like what if he
Yeah,
had an ability that like actually used that animation, you know?
That's what
that's what I
I
was saying.
suggested.
I don't know if you guys played Overwatch, but Pharah, I was thinking like pretty much just like that.
Yeah.
So you can use
Oh
your
yeah.
E, and you could also use your Q as a displacement for yourself.
Yeah.
That's pretty
Who is
much what.
Farah? Who is Farah?
Pharah is a character from Overwatch. She got jetpacks and a rocket.
Oh, she's the damage character that flies up in the air. Yes,
Yeah,
I played a lot of Farah actually. I'm really upset I didn't know that. She was like one of my main characters I played in that game. Um, so you think that her passive or like Howitzer's passive could be that they fly up in the air a bit, and that stays within the animation range, so that would work no problem.
yeah.
I think that'd be really cool. I think yeah, I think it'd actually be really cool. And I
I
think
don't
the
think they're as worried about the animation like locking into that anymore because Kwang's new abilities and
is a new animation.
yeah.
Yeah, I
Oh,
mean they
okay.
have like it's all about like using their capital like in the most efficient manner.
I'm pretty
Yeah.
sure Uzi made that Kwang ability. I don't think they.
Oh, nice. Nice, nice. I actually think that's a really good idea. And I personally like I threw the lock on ability out there, but I don't like it because it's only like you can't make it work with the rest with the rest of Howitzer's abilities because it's just too broken. Simple as that.
It kind of reminds me of if you played Titanfall 2 at all. Oh fuck, what was his name?
The
One of
auto
the
pistol.
Titans. What one of the Titans. It wasn't did it begin with an R? It was the sniper one. It was it had like the railgun and it had one of its abilities was if you hit like another Titan like 3 times with just your normal shot, then it
Mhm.
allowed you to shoot off like 6 lock-on rockets and stuff like that. And like a lot of people always really complained about it because it would go around walls, so you could literally just keep peeking. And I mean, I don't know. I feel like maybe in a MOBA where
It
I don't know, you
sounds
have
like
to
Revenant E.
yeah, actually. Yeah, but it
Mm.
was one of those things where like it was building up this lock on, like because with Howitzer being a robot, or like the suit mech, it would like kind of like I guess also too like I always just think about like flavor and all that kind of stuff when it comes into creating a kit, and sometimes it kind of like doesn't translate well into actually feasible abilities. But like I don't know, the idea of like the mech calibrating the longer it's in a fight, and then it allows you to I don't know, just like thoughts like that.
Mm. Mm. I'm
Yeah.
just trying to think. So, uh, we all know it's like confirmed now that like Howitzer's. I don't know if he's the next character, but he's definitely in the next three. That's why we're talking about him. So, um, I really think I'm really gravitating towards his. Somehow he flies up kind of like Farah. I don't know if it's as high as Farah.
Definitely not.
Definitely not as high as Farah. But yeah, he flies up. I think it'd be really cool. The only thing I think about that, if I think about it too much, is there? I don't know if it's a good or bad thing, but could Howitzer have too much escape then? Because then you still got you got your fly. Well, I don't know
Yeah,
if you
but
can
you're
consider
burning it
your
all
fly.
for.
A fly's not really an escape though. It's kind of like a half of an escape. That's kind of a good way
Uh,
to put it. Because you can still hit him.
And if anything, it's going to be easier for people to shoot him in the air than
You think
But
so?
then melees can't hit him.
yeah. But I mean, like if you're playing like a carry and you just got this fat robot flying like 10 feet in the air and there's nothing to body block for him,
Mm.
I think about like one of my least favorite things about like chasing Greystone, for example, was when on Monolith you were you know how there's the hill and you know where the gold buff was and
Yeah.
how there was then that fog of war and then that drop off. You'd be chasing after him and then he'd just do the leap up there. So like I guess Howitzer would be able to do that a lot easier.
Yeah, and I used to do that with
Um
Decker and get away
and
a lot.
I'd be like, fuck my life. I can't you know what I mean? And I don't know. I guess
I only care
it
about
always
Shinji
felt a
and
lot
Aurora.
if it always felt a lot more satisfying when I forced him to like if you had to like force a howitzer to pop his ult just to like run away. I don't know. I was like, fuck you,
Mm. So let's
fucking
so
loser.
let's try to move off of Howitzer, and we'll go on to Gadget.
Well, I'd just like to say this before. I think with the lock on passive, instead of it being a lock on, it could just do more damage or have a buff on the rocket every if you land a certain amount of autos instead of a lock on.
Oh,
Yeah,
so kind of instead of like, so a Sparrow, like when you hit more basics, you do more damage with basics, but Howitzer would be if you hit more basics, you do more damage with
Yeah,
abilities.
so let's say like the cap's 10, but every odd like consecutive auto you landed on character you're queuing, it does like 100 more damage, max level obviously.
Oh, that'd be kind of cool actually. And Reaver, like I liked your idea too about how it goes up in the air, but Meeks did bring up a point about like the melee characters, like how would that work?
I mean, they'd just be like
Screwed.
you said. You play fair. There'd be like a fuel meter of some sorts. Like just fly.
Okay. So they fly, but they're still within range, kind of thing.
Pretty much
Uh,
all melee characters in Overwatch can hit her, so with an ability. And in Fault you couldn't. I don't.
Yeah.
did you
Okay.
see uh Empty's idea that he brought up in the chat, Greg?
I
I did
saw
not.
it. Just slap increased damage slash effects when an ability is max level. So he does more
I
damage when he hits a max level ability with that
think
ability.
that's really boring, but
It is
Yeah,
boring.
don't have a passive until
I,
late
th-
game.
I think end game, like not necessarily end game as in like at the end of the game, but like a cool idea would be just like Orn. I don't know if you know what Orn does.
Nope, not a clue.
Orn's passive is he can upgrade an item. So like Howitzer's like this little mechanic that pilots this big mech, right? So
Okay.
he essentially Orn's passive is at certain like levels. I think you can upgrade one of your teammates like fully items, and it does like more damage or like increases their passive. So let's say if like Vorsteel is an item in Fault,
Okay.
I don't know if you know what it does, but
Nope.
it gives you life steal, power, and then shield, overshield. So
Wow.
whenever you do damage, your life stealing like shield, but maybe like Howitzer's passive could upgrade that item for someone, and it like has a more life steal, more power, or something like that.
That would actually be kind of cool. And I really like, and so we don't have to stick in the realm of abilities like or animations now, which is really nice. That actually might work. What I think viably, I think so. I know this is gonna sound foolish, but if I try to think like Sylphin for 5 seconds, Sylphin's gonna say, "No, you guys have great ideas, but that doesn't make Hauser have a niche." Even though I would disagree that he already has one, that he's one of the better niche characters that
As a
Paragon
control
created.
mage,
Yeah,
in my opinion.
yeah, he's more. He kind of has that kind of like utility like Bellica does, but he's able to bounce people, keep and like AO's his he's able to control people in a certain sense in his own way. So I think if I was Sylphin, he would try to. He's gonna say no. The passive has to do something with that. It has to. And I don't know if that's how Sylphin thinks, but something tells me that's how he does think.
I don't think any of us want to know how Sylphin thinks.
uh, I don't know. No, Sylphin seems pretty cool. Listen to all the people. Empty, are you getting bullied? Seems you're
He's
getting
fine.
bullied. He'll be all right. So, off the top of my head, passive. Would it be too much to say that Howitzer's passive gives his basic attack in rockets like a slow or something, just to try to keep that control?
Uh,
But that is more boring. I do agree to that. But
I mean, I don't necessarily see a problem with it as long as it's like you shouldn't care about balance whenever you're making kits because all that can be like
fixed
fine tuned.
afterwards. Just about making good
Um,
kits.
what about the idea of like, I don't know. I mean, if you think about Severog and how the more stacks he gets, like the bigger his shoulders get, the more swole he gets. I don't know. What if he like? I don't know. I just still have Titanfall 2 on the brain because like there's a Titan that one of its ultimate abilities, and I know we're just thinking about a passive, but like the concept of like upgrading and like changing aspects. So like it could like maybe as the game progresses, and like I don't know if it would be like hmm I don't know if it would be tied to level. Maybe it could be something else. I don't know, but like I like the whole idea of like focusing on Howitzer as like the little fox raccoon guy that is like a little mechanic. So like what if
Mhm.
over the course of the game his passive is he's like changing the suit, and I don't know. I don't know what that would look like.
Oh, like his suit, like if there was like a skin, even though it's not a skin, but over time as he leveled up, his robot clearly showed that he was getting better and bigger.
Yeah, or something like that. Um he's like working on it throughout the match. Um and then could like I don't know, like maybe you could special like and like maybe you could it could like depend on your own choices. Like maybe you could make your abilities have more pen at a certain point, or maybe you can make your abilities have heavier, slow. I don't know, but like I like the idea of like a passive changing a character so that as the game progresses, it becomes like a part of them and it doesn't completely take over. I guess how they actively perform,
Mhm.
but it's still in tandem with it. I don't know.
Mhm.
I think that'd be cool.
Cool. So, just a consensus is we all have good ideas.